Hi, it's Carrie again, and today's video is a Fun Monday video, so again you'll have the coupon code at the end of the video. Today I'm going to show you kind of a repeat in finishing off the foundation row, but then we're going to start a second row, a scallop or a shell on the bib that I'm working on. So this is the bib that I worked on last time, and to finish off we just continued our foundation row to the last punched hole of the hem stitcher. Now I have to do a corner. Actually, this video is going to show you two things. It's also going to show you how to take care of a knot in your thread. If you ever have to tie on because you need more thread, you're just going to tie a little knot like that. You're going to pull quite hard to make sure that is tight, and you're just going to crochet right over that knot. So right now I need to do an increase. I'm going to do a couple of extra stitches in that hole to increase. Now I'm at the end. So at the end of round one, our foundation row, you're going to go into that top chain. So I have 3 loops on my hook. You're going to wrap around and you're going to take off all 3 loops. That's called a slip stitch. And now I'm at the top of row 2. So for this row we're doing a little shell that I have on the front page of my website, and I'm just going to ignore that knot. It's too bad it's right here at the beginning, but we're just going to ignore it and work right around it. To do this shell you're going to do double crochets. To do a double crochet we're going to wrap around, we're going to wrap the thread around an extra time around that hook. So to make 2 loops. I'm going to skip, I'm not going to do the one that I'm in, of course, and I'm going to skip one. I'm going to go into that 3rd chain stitch. I'm going to wrap around my thread and take that chain stitch off. Now I have 3 loops. For a double you're going to have 3 loops. That knot's kind of in my way right here, but we're just going to pull those threads out. Wrap around, if you can wrap around before the knot, go ahead and do that. If not, wrap around after that knot. Pull off those 2 loops. Now I have 2 more loops. Wrap around and pull off those 2 loops. That's a double crochet. Again, just pretend that knot's not here. We will tie it, hide those extra short threads at the end. Okay, we're going to do 5 double crochets in the same hole there, in the same chain. Wrap around, go into the same hole we just did one in, wrap around and take off the chain, or 2. That chain has 2 strings on it. Now I have 3. Wrap around, take off 2. I have 2 left. Wrap around, take off 2. That's a double crochet. One more time. We have 1, we start out with 1 loop on the hook. We wrap around. So now we're going to call that 2 loops, and we go into our hole. Now we have 4 actually, if you count each of those on that chain as 2. We have 4, and each time you're going to take off 2. Wrap around, take off those first 2, which is just the chain. Now I have 3. Wrap around, take off 2 loops. Now I have 2. Wrap around, take off 2 loops, and I'm down to 1 again. You can see the double crochets that started out flat are going to form a semicircle. I'm to the top of my semicircle there. Wrap around, we're going to continue to do doubles, go into the same hole, wrap around, take off my chain. Now I have 3 loops, wrap around, take off 2 of those, wrap around and take off 2 until I'm down to 1. When you're down to 1, we wrap around, go into the same hole, wrap around, take off my chain or my 2 bottom loops, and I have 3. Wrap around, take off 2 of those strings, and I have 2. Wrap around and take off 2 more, and I'm down to 1. Let's count those. If you ever need to count your double crochets, you look for these little tall pieces in here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm ready to pin this down like that to form a little bubble. When I do that, I'm going to skip 1 chain and go into this next chain here and do a slip stitch. So remember to do a slip stitch. I go into that chain hole, wrap around. I have 3 loops on that hook. I'm going to wrap around and take off all 3 so that I only have 1 loop left on the hook. That is a slip stitch, and it ties it down and forms a nice little scallop. Let's start our next scallop. I'm going to wrap around my hook, and I'm going to skip one, leave one of those chains empty, and go into the next chain to start my doubles. I'm going to do 5 doubles, and I'll just do that without talking this time. You can watch that. I'll try to go slow. That's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 3, need more thread up here, more slack, 4, 5 double crochets. When I'm done with that, I'm going to skip the next chain and go into the next one, do a slip stitch, and you can see how that is starting these cute little shells. Let's repeat that one more time. I'm going to wrap my hook around the crochet thread, skip the next chain and go into the next one, wrap around, take off the chain. I have 3 loops. Wrap around, take off 2 of those loops. Wrap around, take off 2 more, and I'm down to 1 loop. That's when I start my double crochet. Wrap around, go into the same hole, wrap around, take off the chain, wrap around, take off 2, wrap around, take off 2. I've completed 2 double crochets. We'll do 3 more. Count them because I forgot my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. I'm going to skip the next one, go into the next hole, and do a slip stitch, which means wrap around and take everything off but that last loop, so you're left with 1 loop. And it just kind of pins it down in the middle. I'll go around this bib, and you'll tie off just the same way you tied off in the foundation row video. Let's go ahead and give you that code for this week. Fun Monday code is going to be Far West, all one word. FARRWEST. Go ahead and put that in, and you will receive 10% off your entire order. Thanks.